The Spanish Announce Table.
Here we are, Tom. It is episode 301 of the Spanish Announce Table. Man, how are you?
I'm doing well. You know, I'm still living kind of on the high of episode 300. It was so good to hear from so many of the past listeners that contacted us via Tweet the Table and email. Also got some good feedback on we're back to videos, and they like that. And then, you know what? I thought it was going to be really humiliating, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. The John Cena video was pretty fun.
It was fun. It was fun.
I'll tell you this. During a quarantine time where we're not getting out too much and there's not a lot to do around the house after 6 or 8 months of however long we've been doing this, it was a welcome distraction for me and my wife to do something together, right? It wasn't a TV show. It wasn't Netflix. It wasn't a puzzle or, whatever it was. It was something completely off the wall. She was my camera person. She did an amazing job. And a lot of people laughed. So that was good. I'm glad that I provided laughs for people, even at my own expense.
I did have somebody hit me up in the messenger and was like, why do I love it when you win picks?
Yep. Why is that? Because, things happen.
Hey, if you're not having haters, right, you're doing it wrong, right?
You right. It's been a welcome distraction kind of week. Not to get too serious because this is supposed to be a distraction for you, the listener. But it was welcome to do some off the wall things and make people giggle. So I'm happy with the week I've had. How about you? What have you been up to?
Nothing much, man. We seriously work and trying to stay away from people. Watch the Chiefs game.
Man, you're a good football team when you can play like crap and still beat the other team. Because we did not play well that first half. It was.
Did you see their coach? You see the coach of the Chargers threw that rookie quarterback under the bus afterwards when he looked like the future, and he threw him under the bus.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he played really well. Typically,
he was like, "Hey, there's a reason he's a backup." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, right. Chiefs typically don't play backups very well. If you remember last year, the big phenom to come from the game with the Jaguars was Minshew, the mustache mountain guy. And look at him now. So maybe this guy for the Chargers, same thing. But that's enough football talk. We got a big game, though, coming up Monday night, going up against Monday Night Raw, Chiefs versus Ravens. That should be a fun one. But, yeah, so this week was pretty good then?
Yeah, I mean, nothing to write home about, nothing big, nothing crazy, just it was.
Well, we had another extra long week of pro wrestling content. We got another Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, take a break on Thursday because that's when you get us, Friday type of wrestling week because on Tuesday night was a special episode after the NBA playoffs of Late Night Dynamite. It was only an hour long, 3 really good matches. Was really excited to watch it. It did go on a little bit later than I wanted because, basketball isn't a hard out at top of the hour or anything like that. So, it is what it is. The game was really good. That was before Late Night Dynamite. And then obviously you had Wednesday Night Dynamite. What did you think of AEW's output for the week? Were you a fan of it? Were you indifferent? What'd you think?
I liked AEW this week. I did. I liked it a lot. I kind of liked I didn't have many complaints, right? Like I was like,
yeah.
Like everything was good. Storylines are good. Like everything's kind of moving on. Nothing feels like why are they doing that? It just
Yeah. So let's get into just touch on really quick the Tuesday night Late Night Dynamite. Then we'll roll that right into Wednesday night's Dynamite episode. So on Tuesday night we only had 3 matches. Again, it was an hour-long program, but it kicked off with Ben Carter versus Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky, again, I feel is the future of that promotion. I know he's had a couple opportunities to wrestle Jericho and for the title against Cody, the TNT Championship, that is. But, man, he's awesome. And this Ben Carter guy, Anthony Sharkbait, friend of the show, has told me a lot about him. Apparently, he is the star pupil from Seth Rollins' wrestling school, and he's supposed to be the next big thing. And he is about as quick of a hiccup, and he runs like a bloody nose. He is really, really good.
So he's not the guy who died there.
There was someone that died at Seth Rollins' school?
Yeah. Early on, like right when it first started, and I think the kid like just didn't hydrate himself at all or something, and had like
one of those kind of deaths,
yeah.
where it was like you're not a real athlete, but you're trying to jump in the deep end, and now your heart goes, "What the fuck are we doing? I'm out of here."
Right,
that sucks.
I believe so.
I mean, that's very sad, right? But there's also reasons why you ramp up to do high extreme activities. Anyhow, exactly. Scorpio Sky picked up the victory. Again, Ben Carter looked awesome. He was also on AEW Dark and took on the captain and got the win on Dark. Ben Carter, I think they've signed him. If they haven't, they should. He's very, very fun to watch. And again, Scorpio Sky to me is the man. I'm really excited to see what they do with him. Hopefully something soon. Next up, we had Brandy Rhodes taking on Anna Jay from the Dark Order. Join the Dark Order. This was good. I like this one. Neither girl is a huge, technical wizard that's going to do flashy moves or arm drags and into, arm bars and all this fun, stuff. But they told a good story. I thought the story was good. Was really happy with it. And it was a good storyline progression just so that Late Night Dynamite didn't feel like an AEW Dark where there's no progression of story. So I was happy with that. Anna Jay picks up the victory. Good showing again. And then in the main event, we had the in-ring debut of Matt Sydal, even though he did make a debut of some sort at the last pay-per-view. He took on Shawn Spears. Yeah, it's a singles debut. He took on Shawn Spears, who he eliminated from that Battle Royal. I know the big talking point from the Battle Royal was his messed up flip. Yeah, but he did eliminate Shawn Spears. It was really fun.
He did his Finn Balor impersonation. He looked up.
Yeah, looked up, and then he fell on his neck. Then he hurt himself like Finn Balor did on the main roster. So, parallels, right? This match was really fun. One thing that I really liked about it is I can't remember the move that he did, but Shawn Spears poked fun at Matt Sydal as he was going up to the top rope. And before he went to the top rope, he patted down the ropes to make sure that they were dry before he got I was like, that's a A+ move there.
That's good. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a really fun match. It was good to see Sydal get something to do here other than, falling down. Shawn Spears did pick up the win, which I think is good, right? Shawn Spears has Tully Blanchard as his manager. He does the loaded glove. I thought it was really good. We'll see what happens next for both of these guys, but a really fun episode, I thought. So that was the Late Night Dynamite. Now let's roll it right into
Dynamite. That was my nickname in high school.
Yeah, it was. Boy, all the boys told me that. What?
Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
Let's go into Wednesday Night Dynamite. Oh, one thing I didn't want to mention. Another great job done by Chris Jericho on commentary. He was on commentary for Late Night Dynamite. Did really well.
He's the best.
He's awesome. Yeah. And we'll get into what he did on Wednesday night's episode of Dynamite.
He's the million viewer man.
Yeah. Well, and he carried that segment because everyone else seemed a little bit out in left field playing catch by themselves. So, all right, let's get into it, though. It was main evented, last second change, because maybe COVID. Last second change, the main event was a World Heavyweight Championship match between Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. So right from the jump, you're like, oh shit, we're getting a title match. So pretty fun to see, right?
Yeah, that was fun.
But before we get to the main event, we got to kick off the show, and we kick off the show with the in-ring debut of Miro, the best man.
How long is he going to be out?
Why? What happened? And Kip Sabian versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. Why? What are you saying? Did I miss something?
Did he work us all with the leg injury?
I believe so. I didn't hear of anything of note. Why? What?
Well, it was during the match when he pulled up. Right, he pulled up after I think getting flipped over, and then he could like barely stand on it, and he basically was telling everybody else to keep going with the match, and he couldn't like really lift them up.
Oh, well, hopefully it was a work.
Right.
So anyhow, yeah, we saw the in-ring debut of Miro. Hopefully another match relatively soon and not injured. The Best Man. What do you think about The Best Man? Because now it looks like they're moving.
An ankle thing.
Well, now he's moving away from just being Kip Sabian's best man in his wedding. He is now The Best Man. Do you like that? I mean, I kind of do. I think it's a fun tongue-in-cheek thing to do, a fun little phrase that people can chant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like The Best Man, right? Like, I like that as a thing, right? Because you can keep that forever even after this gimmick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am the best man, almost like a Mr. Perfect, you know what I mean, if you will, right? Yeah. I'm the best at this. I'm the best at that. I am the best man, right? So that should be fine, right? I mean, the merch alone could sustain his career.
All the black shirts.
I'm just not. Yeah, everybody can wear. But you get a black shirt. You get a black shirt.
Everybody gets a cool black shirt.
You get a black shirt. I'm a little like I don't dislike Kip Sabian, but I just feel like I'm like Miro's a guy I would specifically highlight. Right now, I understand we can't do that with everybody in AEW, so maybe he's got to bide some time, right? And it works.
Well, and I actually do like the pairing because for someone like you and someone even more casual of a fan than us, when they say, oh, Rusev is now on Dynamite, it's not just Rusev in the ring by himself or Rusev beats up some guy. And then we go like, well, Rusev is cool. I'll call him Miro. It's now he's with this other person that even like you said, even if you're indifferent about him, you're going to still say like, okay, so what's his name? And who's that pretty girl that's with him? Like, so at least now there's some more exposure to Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford.
Is that how you refer to women? You walk around and you're like, who's that pretty girl?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that pretty girl?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Who's that pretty girl?
Yeah.
He said, pretty. Hey, pretty girl.
Yeah. Hi, pretty girl. How are you?
That's how,
my name's
hi,
Thomas.
pretty. Oh, it's more like that. It's like, hi, pretty girl.
No, I don't do the of mice and men Lenny type of welcome.
Hi,
I just
pretty
go.
Girl.
I just say hello. Hi, pretty girl.
Pretty girl.
My name's Thomas.
You don't give him the Biden sniff.
No, easy. Calm down.
Easy.
All right. So the other thing that I wanted to mention though about this match that I thought was really good, Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. They still are like this odd couple that fits like a glove. I just enjoy this tag team. I want more Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. They're so weird that I can't stop looking at them. But like, I want to see more of them because they're so interesting and just, I keep using the phrase left field, but just different. They're just very different than everything else I see. And I just want to go like, what are those two people doing? Like, tell me more about them. I like them a lot.
I do wish there was more, like when we see them, that there was something that they're doing other than, I mean, obviously everybody's going to wrestle, right? Like, to me, that's a no-brainer. It's not like, well, what do you mean they're doing something? They're doing something. But like something that advances a character or a storyline. Again, we don't have to have like, not each person has to be given you're going to have an 8-week program and there's going to be a rising action thing, but you can still advance characters in a one-off each week, right? So if they're on this week, give me something that advances their character. Don't just leave it up to, we'll find a way to get it done in the ring. Like, I would still like to see something, right? Like something that, even if it's just between them, like their interaction backstage and how their friendship works, show me something, right?
Yeah, some evolution of why they're still a team. You know, they were doing those vignettes. Yeah, they were doing those vignettes of Joey Janela kind of lost in the streets. Sonny Kiss pulls up in the $1 million car. Joey Janela jumps in, right? Like now, that was a few weeks ago, maybe even a couple months ago. Why are they still a team? And that's where, and I know I keep harping on this point, so I won't beat a dead horse here, but that's where you can use AEW Dark and use those vignettes and put them there. Right now, it's a little bit must-see TV because on the next episode of Spanish Announce Table, I'll say, "Hey Tim, did you see the vignette with Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela?" And you might say like yes or no. And if you say no, then now you're going to tune in, right? You're going to go to YouTube and they're going to get more viewers. So I just think they could do those kind of things because, like I said, Sonny Kiss, Joey Janela, they're really cool. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, the next matchup, we had Hangman Adam Page versus Evil Uno. For a little bit, the Dark Order was ringside. Evil Uno tells them to leave. At the end of the match, Hangman Adam Page does pick up the victory. A little bit slower pace, I thought, for a Hangman match, but still good. Kenny Omega was on commentary, still putting over that this was offered as a tag team match. He didn't want it. Adam Page, though, keeps on picking up these singles victories, so maybe he's the one that gets skyrocketed, because we've yet to see Kenny Omega have a singles match, even though he's saying, I'm a singles wrestler. So I'm curious to see where that goes. Yeah,
maybe it's something like, he keeps saying that, right? They keep doing the singles. He's going to be like, a tag team. And they're going to be like, singles, tag team. And then he's like, fine. You know what I mean? I'm the best singles wrestler around, then let's do it. And they, you know what I mean? They go at it.
I even think a fun curveball is if Hangman Adam Page keeps picking up victories week by week by week, and Kenny Omega is still on commentary, and then they're like, Hangman's on a 10-match win streak or whatever it is, right?
He's and then Kenny Omega's title shot, right?
Right, and then Omega's like, well, wait a minute, I thought tag team wrestling was a cool thing. Hey, check out my new partner. And then it's like, you son of a bitch. So you were a tag team wrestler, it's just not with
They
him.
are Ross and Rachel. I'm telling you, it should be that way. It should. Yes, like they should switch and then be like, Hangman should then go find somebody who looks very similar to Kenny Omega, right? Like,
right.
Have them work the same, like just
and
have it be like,
yeah,
right.
Oh yeah, and you could even do some funny silliness with this, but still have it be like taken serious. Where, let's say Kenny Omega finds a Hangman doppelganger because now he's upset that Hangman's going on the singles run, and he's like, no, tag team, remember? And so he gets this doppelganger of Hangman, and then he introduces him as Hangman Adam Page, right? So he's like, me and the best tag team partner in the world, Hangman. Oh shit, it's Cassidy, whatever his name is, or something like that. Yeah. I would think that would be fun.
Or just right, just reverse the roles of what I did there, right? Yeah, something like that, right? Like have them switch who's chasing who, right?
Yeah,
have that
now
go
Kenny
back
Omega
and forth,
wants to be a tag team, and Hangman's like, I got a title match tonight for the TNT Championship. I can't,
right?
I can't do it. I'm not booked.
Go get raped by the Dark Order over here. So.
Yeah, but remember Beyond the Mat? I can't go. I'm not booked.
You're right.
I'm not booked. Just do something like that.
By the way, did you hear JR mention that the good booking for the NBA match would be to have LeBron and the Lakers win? So, like, we're just admitting that, like, booking and wrestling on live TV is all fake there, buddy? Like, I mean, I know we live in a post-kayfabe world-ish, but, like, you kind of really just...
This line keeps on... It's a free
for the guy who used
line.
to be like, oh, reality and believability.
Yeah. If you hit
totally
him in the corner with your fist 10 times, your fist should hurt.
There's no welts. Right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. To go along with this Hangman... Kenny Omega storyline, though, we also got a backstage segment with the Young Bucks, although it was just Matt Jackson. He, I don't know, is tearing down AEW, but then he eventually just breaks Tony Schiavone's phone and then throws money at him.
At first it was fun. Like, I like this. This is the best I think I've seen out of them. The idea that you were just crushing his phone is a dick move. Again, this did make me not like him. Although we already don't, but right, yeah. I like he's like, all right, like he's not saying it, but he's like, all right, I'm here. Pretty sure I'm about to get my ass kicked. They called for me. I guess it's my turn to get kicked in the face. And then he's like, and he's like, what are you flinching? He's like, I wouldn't touch you, right? Like, I love you, guy.
I love you.
Right? And just the whole thing, right? And then he's like, why would you do that? Give me your phone. Right? And he's even like, we're doing a live TV here, he's like, I know, I don't give a shit. Right? Like, yeah. And then even like when he's like he's like, this isn't a real pocket, and then he just throws the money. Like, that was a dick move. I liked it. How long can they do that? Because again, this is the first person they did that I cared about.
Right. Like you said last week, do it to someone you care about, and it's Tony Schiavone. Right. So they listened.
But I don't care that much about Tony Schiavone. I also liked when
they
later
didn't do that much to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and later, and we'll get into it, but Jericho and MJF made fun of him. And so, Schiavone, everybody makes fun of him.
Yeah, we'll get into that Jericho MJF backstage segment. Thought that was great as well. But the next thing that we saw was, I guess, if you want to think of it this way, it was kind of the moment of the night. First, it was a TNT Championship match. Brody Lee taking on Orange Cassidy. Long story short, Brody Lee picks up the victory over Orange Cassidy due to Dark Order shenanigans. But post-match, we see the return of a dark-haired vigilante in Cody. What'd you think about Cody debuting this so quickly after being dismantled?
I know Cody has become Cody more so when he's been blonde haired, but I've always liked Cody's. Like I've taken him more seriously when he's had the dark hair. Mm-hmm. I don't know why that is.
Probably some psychological thing we're not aware of.
Probably is.
Although that looked like that looked as if it was dyed 20 minutes before he walked out. That was super dark.
Somebody said he looked like Robbie Rotten, which was from like an old God, what show was that from? My kids used to watch this show.
Robbie Rotten.
Lazy Town. You should look up Robbie Rotten on Lazy Town for anybody out there, because it's a podcast. Maybe you're watching it on the YouTube, and maybe I'll throw up a video of it later in post. But check out Robbie Rotten, and he looked exactly like that. But Cody,
he does.
I like an evil. Jesus. I like a mean Cody. Again, Cody's the type of guy that takes down a Dark Order. And so I don't know where we go with this, right? Like, I
thought it felt a little bit too soon.
Right. Exactly what I mean.
I feel like you still need to build up, in my opinion, Brody Lee with some more victims. Like in this match last night, Orange Cassidy was the one who fell to Brody Lee. Now, Orange Cassidy looked fine, and he'll be okay because it was 100 different Dark Order guys jumping in.
Nobody thought he's beating Brody Lee anyway.
But even so, he still looked okay because it wasn't a squash, because Dark Order had to intervene every time, right? And I think you could have done that with some more guys. Have Brody Lee then take on another member of the Nightmare family. This time it's Matt Cardona. Then after that, you go with
Evan Bourne or whatever his name is, right? Like just
Matt
runs
Sydal.
through some folks, right?
Yeah, and then where I would have done this, and this is the first time I've kind of fantasy booked AEW, because honestly I've just enjoyed it so much I haven't really considered this. But with this one, I started to daydream a little bit. I thought you have Cody come back at your 1-year anniversary show. Then the big moment is for a big show. Because even though Dynamite's killing it each and every week, I feel like Cody reemerging should have been at a bigger event, a pay-per-view, or in this case, what I was thinking, the 1-year anniversary show.
This burns out if it's Cody. Cody wins, well, you just burn out the Dark Order. Well, if Dark Order wins, well, Cody.
Who cares about Cody? Yeah.
This is dark-haired Cody now.
The only thing, again, that I think is their ace in the hole that they're maybe banking on is Cody's, in real life, best friend is Matt Cardona. So maybe leading to this dog collar match, which post-attack, Brody Lee issues a challenge to Cody for a dog collar match.
Dude, that promo by Brody Lee was great.
Yeah, because when he's fired up. Yeah, when he's fired up and wants to, throw some motherfuckers around, he wants to throw some motherfuckers around. I loved
when he was like, "Do you see what we did to Brandy?" And then it referenced he's like, "That god awful tattoo on your neck."
Put this around your neck, that god awful tattoo. Yeah.
Oh man.
I think the only thing to where we get away from what you're fearing here, where it's either Dark Order is done or Cody just becomes a mid-carder, is Matt Cardona somehow in the corner of Cody costs Cody the match. Now, they've done that already with MJF, right? MJF cost Cody the championship against Jericho. But again, you could do it a little bit more because this is supposed to be real friends, not a protege, mentor kind of thing. But that's the only way I can see right now they get away from not dismantling the Dark Order and also making Cody seem legit.
Right, because he's like one of their top guys. So I don't.
Yeah, we'll see. But again, it's still interesting, right? Because we don't know what they're gonna do. So could be good.
Yeah.
All right. After this, we got an in-ring promo from Private Party and Matt Hardy. it then brings out Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle. Long story short on this one, Isaiah Cassidy demands a shot at Chris Jericho. This I thought was the worst segment of the show. What did you think?
Oh, I thought this was great. I can't believe you didn't like this. Oh, man.
So I liked it in on paper. If you were to tell me new star Isaiah, what's his ass? Isaiah Cassidy. Isaiah Cassidy challenges Chris Jericho. Cool, right? Past, present. I think Jericho's been a pro longer than Cassidy's been alive. I like that whole thing. Yada, yada, yada. We're good there. But both Private Party guys seem like they're about to piss themselves as soon as they get the microphone in their hand.
For sure.
And Matt Hardy, for as good of a promo as he did last week with the, I believe it was last week, with the,
he did.
Hey, I'm sorry for what happened and all that stuff. This one, he just kind of seemed here and then there and then a right turn. And then
he fumbled. Yeah, I didn't like it until Jericho got out there. And yes, the Private Party guys need work, but that's what they're getting here. But he caught into it, right? And I like he's like the what if, right? And what if I make you my, and Jericho, for whatever reason, made that feel real too. Like his face the whole time. Like this one felt like he was like, this little motherfucker wants to find out, right? Like he really, and I think the announcers sold it well, kind of as it was like happening. They were kind of like, oh man, like this is this is a big deal, right? I liked it. I mean, again, I don't think it was like segment of the night, but I was like, this is again, this is a good way to stall Jericho out, right? As we were talking about, let's mix him up some tag team, Hardy. We're gonna not, it's whatever, but I'm a little worried about that, right? We're going to get Jericho versus Matt Hardy. I'm a little worried about that, to be honest with you. But,
unless it's a gimmick match. Unless it's a gimmick match, true. I'm not really interesed in a
Hardy going into all of his weird things with Jericho.
Going on.
I kind of feel like we got that but if he can bring Jericho, it's the 30 years of Jericho. Hardy could show up on this next one as one of these weird guys, start challenging Jericho. I mean, yes, we could do some real fun stuff there, yeah.
Oh, you could do a theatric match with all the iterations of Hardy versus all the iterations of Jericho. Yeah. You could have Lionheart versus version 1. You could do Broken versus the suit-wearing Jericho. I mean, yeah, you could have a lot of fun with that. And that's what I would want. I would want that, not it's a 20-minute match. Like, okay, we've seen that.
Yeah, for pride.
Times. Right, yeah, I don't want to see that.
That would suck so bad.
After this, we got what I thought was a cool gimmick tagline, but again, not the best promo. But FTR was out with Tully Blanchard, and FTR instituted the 20-minute brush with greatness rule, where every match will be a 20-minute match, time limit, and if you don't beat them, then they win. I thought that was pretty funny because that's a little like, hey, fuck you. Like,
there's no like till next time. It's no, we got the win.
Yeah, we got the win. No, it's not a draw. Draws don't exist because we're that great. So if you got 20 minutes, we'll know that it's not an hour, and so you guys still suck.
I like how FTR's getting a little more comfortable in being confident as these heels. I kind of like their just attitude and swagger about all of it. That's hitting for me. I like that. So I like when they're like, oh, you know what? We can't do this. You guys aren't. You're not ready. Why don't you rest up? We'll do it right later, right? Like that kind of thing. Like that was good. I like where that's going. Tully, he missed a couple spots, had to kind of think quickly on his feet, which I mean he recovered okay, but yeah.
Well, and so towards the end of this promo, brings out Best Friends, and then they're challenge them to a match, and then FTR does the thing like you said, where like, yeah, we're not gonna do this. I'm a little nervous about the Best Friends being their first title.
It's going to be, unfortunately, I don't think Best Friends get a run with the title for a bit for whatever reason, even though they're hot. Bullshit. But I love when he was like, yes, you didn't come to fight like a couple of weenies.
Yeah, and then they started chanting weenies. They started chanting weenies at FTR.
Oh, that's gonna be great because they'll play into that so hard. Like they'll get so mad about it and fuck Bobby Heenan stomp. They'll just get mad. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Weenies, like I love that. And then when he's like, "I see you hugging your entrance. Let's show him how it's done."
That was great. Again, Best Friends to me are the tag team. 2020, the best act for me of this pandemic, even before era of whatever this wrestling year is. Best Friends is it. They're the absolute best. But again, I do get nervous because if they're going to be the first title challengers. FTR doesn't seem like a transitional champion, and so it feels like Best Friends will lose. And they already did the badass entrance with Sue against Omega and Paige. If they lose again, I'm still going to be a huge fan of their career, and I'll still follow them. But I can't really tell people like, this is the shit. They've lost twice in title matches. You know what I mean? So I wish it wasn't them first. But again, I love the Best Friends. I think they're great. Mm-hmm. All right. After that, let's get back into it. We had Shida and Thunder Rose teaming up to take on Ivelisse and Diamante. This was pretty cut and dry, I thought. I didn't think nothing was bad. Physicality was off the charts between all four competitors. What did you like?
Yeah, same thing. Match was fine. I mean, there wasn't, it wasn't a barn burner by any nature, I don't think. I mean, it was good. Again, we have minimal stories between all of these ladies, so this felt like a mid-show match where you're just kind of like, all right.
One thing that I would like AEW to change, or at least put an effort towards, is it feels as if this spot in the card is always the women's segment. I want to be a little bit surprised. Start off the show with the women's match. Close the show with the women's match. Have it be the second segment. It just feels, and again, I'm not fact checking, so I'm not going through all the shows, but it always feels like either right before the main event or the segment right before that is the women's spot, and then 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and we're on to other things. I want a little bit more. And for as great as all four women are, this felt very WWE-like. Hey, both champions, because they're great singles competitors, when they team up are better than any tag team, and look at them with the titles. And, right? Like, cool. Right. But I need Thunder Rosa to, give her a low blow after the match or something. Hit her with a kendo stick from Shida, something. This was a little bit too, tribute to the troops. The good people won. Now let's move on. So
yeah, I agree with you a whole lot on that. It always does feel like we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Again, nothing bad, but a little bit cookie cutter, I would say. All right. Now let's talk about it. The backstage segment, Chris Jericho and MJF. Chris Jericho's first doing the promo. MJF comes in. It is very cordial, very superficial. Then it gets into the, hey, I know what you said. And then they air out their dirty laundry a little bit. Hey, why did you say I was a loser? Well, why did you say I was a loser? And then it went into, you know what? You're not that bad. I think this was a fun segment. 2 great promos from these guys back to back.
Yeah, very great. And I mean, timed well. You can tell they practiced this and worked on it pretty good, right? I mean, the timing was there, the all of it. And where's it going? Now, I mean, it would do wonders for MJF to work with Chris Jericho, right? He feels like the Chris Jericho of the new crop, the new generation. But I mean, what are they going to do? Because is there going to be fights, feuds? Are they going to be buddies? Is this a new member of the Inner Circle? Like, what are we doing here?
This is what I would do. Again, fantasy booking, T-Mac story time. This is always something with them. That's what I would do. It's always something with them, to where they never have a payoff unless it's called for. But they just always, I would do this once a quarter, right? So a quarter's every 3 months, new quarter starts. Mm-hmm. Once every 3 months, have them bump into each other and just do this superficial. Yeah. Hey, it was so good that you picked up that victory over Hardy. Hey, it was so good that you picked up. Yeah. It was so
because they do dislike all the same guys.
Right. And then, the counter is like, I love that you picked up the victory over Darby Allin. I did it quicker. Oh, you think so? You're not that bad. You're not that bad. Loser. And then they, right. I think that would just do this for like a year or two. Just always touch base with this where it's like, hey guy, you're pretty great. I think you fucking suck. Have a good day. And then you're like, what did he say? Like, yeah. I think that would be fun. That would be fun.
That could be. That would be really good.
All right, now let's talk about the main event. Like I said, this was a last-second addition, a little bit of change of the card, maybe to COVID. It is a AEW World Heavyweight Championship match between champion Jon Moxley taking on the challenger, the Mad King himself, the best promo in pro wrestling. I don't care. At me if you want, but you're wrong. Eddie Kingston. And this was a physical fucking match, wasn't it?
It was. And I forgot that last week we forgot to mention that he was wearing a damn, was he wearing a Bo Jackson?
Yeah, Royals throwback, powder blue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kansas City.
KC, baby. Yeah.
Bo knows. This was great. I like that they also explained in the commentary about Kingston's ring gear, because I was just thinking, I was like, what the fuck is this guy wearing? I was all excited for this match, and then I was like, okay, that makes sense. And they explained the pacing and all that. Like they told a good backstory. These guys worked well together because of their history. And then I was surprised with the ending beatdown. I didn't think this was going to continue on. So to see that, like, well, Moxley's going to come back after these guys, so we're going to get this go around a little bit with Kingston in the spotlight. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, I love it. Again, like I said, I've been the biggest fan of Eddie Kingston for, as long as I've been aware of him. Like I said again, I think he does the best promo. It's the most believable. If you don't believe me, go watch the last BTE where he cuts a promo on a cookie and it almost makes people cry. Like, he just does awesome stuff. And I know that was a rib at WWE because at the Performance Center they make you cut promos on inanimate objects. So they're like, here's a broom, cut a promo on a broom. But like, Eddie Kingston really fucking can. And so anyhow, if we're peeking behind the curtain, I think
he said they wanted him to coach, which would be amazing, but
I love him. You know what I mean? I don't want to see him through another version of a wrestler. I want to see him. Right. If we're peeking behind the curtain, I think they're calling an audible because Lance Archer either has COVID or got in contact with someone who does have COVID, and so he can't be on television for the next 2 weeks.
Makes sense, because I was wondering, I was like, what's up with the FTW? I thought they were like...
Yeah. And so I think we're inserting Eddie Kingston's group with Taz's group since Lance Archer can't fill that role. I'm calling them the FTW. That's what I'm calling them. FTR versus FTW? Fuck it.
Fuck
it. F you.
Yeah.
But this match was so fun, and this is why I liked it. Eddie Kingston is like he's at the best part of his career when his body is at its absolute worst, and I just love it. It's like that old veteran where he's on his last hurrah, and like, did you ever see the movie Rocky? It was Rocky
Foley.
6. Yeah, he's kind of Foley. He's very much kind of like Foley. But I was thinking of Rocky 6, not Rocky 5 with Tommy Morrison. Rocky 6, when he comes back and he takes on Antonio Tarver, and it's like he still has it mentally, and he can obviously still sell a fight, but he's just not there, and he's going to lose a decision to the in shape, in their prime fighter. Like, that's Eddie Kingston. Maybe even a better analogy is what you just said, Mick Foley, where it's his body's shot, and he's been doing this, like you said, 18 years.
Which it never was the best thing to begin with, but now he's beat it up. He also, he's even mentioned that he's eating a little better now than he was.
Mm-hmm. But he still looks like a sack of yogurt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
he said that's why he wasn't in WWE all this time. Like, he'd been talked to, but they were kind of like, you know what? Like,
you're fat.
Kind of fat.
Yeah.
But you're right. Now he's hearing everybody's like, this is the fucking guy. This is the guy. This is the guy. And
do like, 60 minutes. And he's like, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, do 60 minutes. Like, I got 10. I got a solid 10.
Let me get 5 dudes.
Yeah.
Let me get 5 guys to help me out.
Yeah. I also like the pacing of the match where it started off, because one thing I didn't mention is early on, Eddie Kingston comes to the ring, kind of gives you a backstory of him and Moxley's career where he's like, me and him were cut from the same cloth, and then he went to go be an entertainer while I was still a fighter.
Yep.
And I loved how Jon Moxley, it didn't take him but 5 seconds to walk out.
He was
walking out with a purpose.
Like, oh, how dare you.
Yeah, face to face. They get separated by refs. Then we get to the match. And Tony Schiavone, I believe, was the one who did the main commentary here, was talking about how they respected each other because they faced each other in the past. And then they just get to this forehead to forehead. Like, you think you're better than me? You're fucking not. And then now we're getting into the physicality. The chops, even though I'm not a huge fan of just let me get hit, let me hit you kind of thing, for whatever reason, this time it worked because it felt like one-upsmanship.
If we still had sound clips, I was going to get Schiavone was like, I'm digging this, man. Like, when they were doing that. And for what it's worth, Kingston's chops were winning, dude. His were so hot, man. They were just whap, just
and he got Moxley in the collarbone area, that
God, was so
hurts.
bad. He was just drilling him. He was
every
bit of force with that.
So great. What we see here is Jon Moxley essentially very similar to how he beat Brody Lee in the sense of, I can't pin this motherfucker, so I'm going to have to make him submit. Chokes him out. Ref calls it. Then post-match, that's when we get the Lucha Bros attacking Jon Moxley, which then, long story short, I keep saying that tonight, but you get what I'm saying. Will Hobbs comes out. Darby Allin comes out. Taz. Ricky Starks comes out. What I liked the most was the sell job from Eddie Kingston, where he went unconscious, right? And for those watching the video, you see me doing the air quotes. So when he comes to and he's back to consciousness, he blames the ref, where he's like, "What the fuck did you do?
Yeah, right.
I didn't quit." Like, he was pushing him around as Jon Moxley's getting beat up by the Lucha Bros, and he's saying, like, "You should have stopped that." Well,
and he was still out of it. Like, he tried to fight back wobbling, and he fell down again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The selling from Eddie Kingston was top notch. Post-match, that's what I enjoyed the most. Besides that Ricky Starks spear on Darby Allin. Jesus Christ. Darby Allin, I think, wants to kill himself. Like, dude, everything he does is too dangerous.
It was done so well, and the angle was such that, like, I didn't realize he was, like, in range and able to pull off a spear on him, and it just happened so fast. I was like, God damn, he just speared him out of his fucking pants, man. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, I thought that was the move of the night, of the entire.
That made Ricky Starks
show.
look like a badass, which he already, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he already is. Absolute Ricky Starks is absolute awesome. That's what, I always like to look to the future because AEW just excites me, and I get energized watching it because the 2 hours feels like 20 minutes. It doesn't feel droning. It just, what the fuck? That was it? I want more, But going into the future, Ricky Starks, Scorpio Sky, TNT Championship, that's what I want to fucking see. Those two motherfuckers, Scorpio Sky saying I'm the best pure athlete, Ricky Starks saying I'm absolute Ricky Starks. Let's see who the better man is for the championship right there.
And that's such a great tag time, because he's like, I'm absolute sex appeal. I'm absolute muscle. I'm absolute good look. Like, all of it, right? You just absolute everything.
Well, and he's such an asshole. Yeah, and he's such an asshole to where, like, when he did the spear and he got up, all of these badasses. This is another little detail that I loved post-match. Was, you had Eddie Kingston choking the life out of Jon Moxley. You had the Lucha Bros putting the boots to Will Hobbs. Darby Allin just got taken out, so he's selling the ribs. And you have Ricky Starks do this, like, Vogue model pose. It was like, what the fuck? It reminds me of Mortal Kombat, where, you had Sub-Zero and Scorpion and Liu Kang, and then Johnny Cage with his fucking sunglasses over here looking like Mr. Hollywood. Like, that's what he feels like in AEW, where it's all these badass, murder row kind of villainous people, and he's like, hey, I'm pretty fucking cool. And you're like, you are, but you're also a dickhead, Ricky Starks is awesome.
That's great. Yep.
All right, so that was Dynamite. Another solid show. Really looking forward to next week. I didn't write down what the matches are, but I know they got some big things planned. They did announce that they're going to do a celebration of Jericho, the 30 years of Chris Jericho. So I'm excited for that coming up soon. And then obviously on their horizon, they have their 1 year anniversary show on October 7th. So love it, AEW. Love it.
Yeah, that's going to be a blast.
All right, you want to get into some WWE talk now that we
what do we want to start
AEW?
with?
Well, I figured, what we can do here is this weekend we've got Clash of Champions, where every championship is on the line. And with that, we can kind of popcorn around and talk about Smackdowns, talk about Raw. And then we can do our picks that doesn't have any stakes to it, because that makes me feel great.
Well, and there's an NXT TakeOver as well coming up soon, right? So when is that coming? That's not during our next thing, though, right?
No, that's a couple weeks. That still has some time.
That's a couple weeks out, right?
But I think
anything big happen on NXT for that, right?
Yeah, so the one thing that I thought was of interesting, to note is the main event saw Kyle O'Reilly become the number one contender to take on Finn Balor. Interesting, at least I thought, because I don't know still if this is a babyface group or a heel group, but Adam Cole and the rest of the guys celebrated with Kyle O'Reilly. And that felt like, is this Evolution foreshadowing where, Triple H loved that Randy Orton got that title and then it went boom. So are we getting that, or are we getting the legitimate, this is awesome?
I said that when you discussed the possible dissension in the Undisputed Era, that he should come out and say that this group would be ran better if it was ran by Kyle O'Reilly, baby. And here he is, right? He's coming up. Now, we've interviewed Kyle O'Reilly. Go back and listen. He's a friend of the show. This is interesting. I think he's good, right?
Oh, I think he's awesome.
To see him. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see him get a spotlight and see what he can say or do. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly, I've always been a big fan of. He's always felt as if he's a 2020 version of Arn Anderson. If you're going to say that Adam Cole is Ric Flair, Kyle O'Reilly to me is Arn Anderson, where, go back to those pre-NWO days, Arn Anderson had a victory over Hulk Hogan. So it's not as if Arn Anderson was out of the water against the main event guys. He beat Sting, he's beat Lex Luger, all that stuff. But when you say Arn Anderson, you don't think the main guy, championship, title reigns, all that stuff. And I kind of feel the same way about Kyle O'Reilly. Great tag team wrestler with Red Dragons, and then obviously Undisputed Era. And he's always been the most entertaining, not the most entertaining part, but he's always been an entertaining part, right? The air guitar on the title, the silliness with his promos. So he could do this.
The therapist, when yes.
When the
no charisma guy.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that guy's name?
Oh, fuck that guy. Good wrestler.
You know what else I like about NXT? I like Gargano and Candice LeRae as their house segments, right? They feel creepy. I like all of it, right? I like that a whole lot. And I like this Damian Priest thing. And maybe they're moving to him being the party guy because he was basically hitting on, was it Dasha? Or who?
Yeah.
Who's in the back? I forget who's in the back on NXT back there. But yeah, he was like, "You're good at this." He was like, "I had a good time," right? Like smooth. Interesting, right? So that'll be a good match coming up too. Yeah, NXT was decent. I didn't think it was, anything too crazy, right?
I did do a little fact checking, Tim. Roderick Strong, that's his fucking name.
Roderick Strong, that's right. The man that Charisma forgot.
Oh my God. Yeah, great wrestler, and that's it. So yeah, that was NXT in a nutshell. I like I said, I thought the most interesting part was at the next takeover. It's going to be Finn versus Kyle O'Reilly. What's the fallout from that match? Whether who wins or who loses. What's their next step?
Right. Should be interesting.
But yeah, let's get into some Clash of Champions picks. What do we got on the main card, or not the main card?
Clash
the whole
of
card here.
The Champions, right? Remember, WWE used to call this Night of Champions. But went with the old WCW name. It's the Clash of Champions, which is better. The Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza for the Raw Tag Team titles. Now, this is sans Zelina Vega, who is now going off doing her own thing, apparently.
They need it. Raw is in desperate need of some women star power. You think Becky Lynch is gone, Charlotte's MIA still, Asuka's beat everyone else. So who else is left? So I think
Becky been gone too. When that baby's gonna be? What is that?
It was Money in the Bank. So
which is May,
March, April.
I think it's like April May time frame.
Yeah.
Right. So
she still has some time
over the winter. Yeah. All right.
Still have some time. So there's and who knows if she ever comes back? She may just love what she's doing.
Beth Phoenix didn't till way later. Right.
You're right. So yeah, what I was getting at though is Zelina Vega is much needed in that division because there's really not much else. Peyton Royce is still developing who she is. Bianca Belair is just I don't know where. We just kind of forgot about her.
Yeah,
it feels like Natty and Mickey James, we've done that 10 million times. So I like it. Now, will she win? Absolutely not, though. She will not win.
Yeah, no, and that's that's also Asuka's going to win that. But so the Street Profits are taking on Andrade and Angel Garza for the Raw tag team match. So the whole breakup is so they're still a tag team, which is interesting.
How long have we been doing this?
I love your face, like you didn't realize that was a thing.
It's so
By the way,
aggravating.
if you're listening on the podcast and you're not aware and you didn't listen to episode 300, we're back doing videos. Check out YouTube. You could be watching us right now. You could see the face I was talking about.
Oh, man.
That face.
Street Profits have to win, and then hopefully we get the just breakup, I guess. I don't know.
Angel Garza is good. I think that guy is somebody they could build some stuff around, right? They've been looking for somebody, Hispanic or Latino, to be behind but every time they bring somebody in, they're missing a piece, right? They can't necessarily speak the English. They're wearing a total face cover so we don't develop any emotion to them, that kind of stuff. But this guy, I think, speaks great English, is, you know what I mean? Like over cheesy actor, which is great for pro wrestling, serviceable in the ring. I think they could definitely do way more than with anybody else who's been involved in any of this.
Yeah, sure. I'm also kind of checking out on the WWE needs a Mexican star. Like, I just want stars.
Of course.
You know
They're
what I mean?
going to pick one. So that's what I'm saying. Like, all right, this is the one. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
if you're gonna say we need one to fill a quota,
right? Okay.
I don't think we need a quota. We can just have adults who are over as pro wrestlers.
Right.
That's my point.
Right.
What I was gonna say is my biggest hope for this match is that it's quick. Get this in 2 minutes or less.
Yeah, let's pop for the Street Profits and move on.
Yeah, I don't want to see any more from this tired-ass storyline. So what do we have after that?
Okay, so Street Profits are winning. We're saying both and again, we're not banking any picks or anything. Zelina Vega's losing. All right, United States Championship match. Apollo Crews, Bobby Lashley. I think Bobby Lashley wins this, and we slowly forget about Apollo Crews, right?
The only thing that gives me hesitation about saying with absolute certainty that Bobby Lashley destroys Apollo Crews is the way Raw has been building around Retribution. I feel like they need to do something in their first feud, it feels like, is the Hurt Business. Now, I'm not saying that Apollo Crews becomes the new champion. I think what I would pick is we see Retribution in this match. So it's a no DQ, or it's a disqualification, right? So it's a wash, no contest, whatever. They're both beat up. Maybe we see through, what's that one phrase? The friend of my friend, or the enemy of my enemies, my friend, or whatever the fuck it is there. Maybe we see Apollo Crews go like, I hate you guys, but I hate them more. And we start to see a 6-man tag match with Apollo Crews and Ricochet taking on this whole Retribution thing. I don't know. But I think Retribution gets involved and it's a DQ finish.
Yeah, that's all right. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. All right. Intercontinental Championship Triple Threat Ladder Match. AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, Jeff Hardy. I mean, I'm not into Jeff Hardy, but this should be a damn good match, right?
Oh, of course. Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, and a psychotic Jeff Hardy who just wants to jump off high shit. Sure. That screams fun to me.
It's going to be a spot fest.
I hope Sami Zayn wins. God, I hope Sami Zayn gets this victory.
Me too.
And just runs with this IC champ. Now, it would be fun if he just does the almost what MJF is saying right now, where it's like, I'm the uncrowned champion. He could, if it's a ladder match, say, I never got pinned. I still have never been pinned for my championship, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to go Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn wins. Jeff Hardy can go fuck himself.
I think AJ Styles wins.
Doesn't he have COVID?
I don't think so.
Well, I guess because he's wrestling, he doesn't. But I thought I heard he had COVID. You know why I don't think they're going to go AJ Styles?
A little bit.
Yeah, but you know why I don't think they're going to go AJ Styles? He's been talking a lot of shit on his Twitch channel, making news, saying Paul Heyman was a jerk, saying that he had conversations with AEW. Maybe, but he also maybe doesn't because it's a mid card where it's like, hey, you want to keep talking shit? That's why I tried to take away Twitch and Cameo for all you assholes.
True that. All right, SmackDown Tag Team Champions Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro versus Lucha House Party. And, yeah, I don't know.
This better be on the kickoff show. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, who the fuck cares?
Lucha House Party.
Can we do something? For fuck's sake, is Cesaro doomed to be the Big Show tag team guy? Like he's all different tag team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just cool wrestler that we don't really care about, but you guys do. So he's a tag champion because we don't care about tag teams. It feels like Lucha House Party is going to break up. We saw a little bit of dissension on SmackDown. If they do,
because why not? Like, what are they doing?
Well, here's why I would not do it though. Name another tag team after Lucha House Party.
Yeah.
No, seriously, name one.
I don't.
Otis and Tucker. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah,
and even then, Otis is the Money in the Bank, right? Yeah. So, slim pickings on SmackDown Tag Team Division.
Oh, Miz and Morrison.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way.
Gosh. You know what we should? No, we shouldn't. We should do this for my own mental health, but maybe every so often start with WWE so I can get all this out of my system and then go like, but AEW. Because
I think, what happens is, a lot of times I think when I look at numbers and stuff, like people don't listen all the way through all the time, right?
That's true. So
they
heard that we were positive and patient all this year. Yeah,
Get the
that's
good
true.
stuff. In fact, sometimes I worry when we're talking about our own things. I look down, I'm like, oh crap, dude! If we had new listeners, we might have lost them already.
Yeah. Who
like,
the fuck cares about your basement project? Talk about Shinsuke.
You name your son Swim Trunk, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Like, all right. So
Nakamura and Cesaro. Yeah, sure.
All right. Women's Tag Team Championship. Nia Jax and Baszler versus the Riot Squad. Jackson Baszler. This is continuing.
Yeah. No. Riot Squad.
I want the Jackson Baszler. It's the only thing that's ever made me halfway like Jax.
Yeah, it does. No, I think Riot Squad, and this is where we get the fuck you dissension, and maybe that goes to Raw Underground. Maybe we get a Raw Underground match between Nia Jax and Shayna.
Braun Strowman gets over on Dabba-Kato, right? So the whole Underground thing has been for nothing. It was the only thing that might have came out of it was Dabba-Kato looks like a badass coming out of Raw Underground, but no, Braun Strowman just puts him down.
No, because who I think who's going to be the star. I think the way Raw Underground ends is the doorman makes his way into the ring, and that's who destroys every fucking person.
That dude is so big. I was trying to show my son, I was like, look at him standing next to Shane McMahon, who's like a big guy, And he was like, he's no small dude. And he was like, Jesus, that's ridiculous. And then Braun Strowman walks up, and he's towering over him. Like, Braun Strowman comes up to his shoulders, and my son's just like, what? How is that real? Like, how is that a thing?
Don't you think that would be the exclamation point on Raw Underground?
Well, if you'll remember, because he was like, you want me to go out there? And he's like, nah, I got, you know what I mean? When he was going out to the KO show, and he was like, nah, I got this. I don't need you, Yeah.
Right. I think the exclamation point is that big bastard reigns supreme over everyone. That's what I would do. But who knows? Big. Yeah.
What is he? Like 7'7"? Like he's huge.
He's a monster. He's a fucking monster. But he looks cool. Like he doesn't look like Elegante or the Yeti or all these other fucking weirdos where it's like, what the, like he looks like a cool guy. He's just also 9 foot.
Hey, let's circle back around before we continue with some of these matches. You mentioned Retribution. We'd be remiss to talk about. So they're under contract now. They all have stupid names. Mia Yim is one of them. What? This is going to flop so hard, right?
Well, it makes zero sense. So it makes zero sense because if you're telling me that you were in the Performance Center, then I should know who you are. So why did you go from Shane Thorne to Left Eye or T-Boz or Chili or whatever it is, like the goddamn TLC names?
T-Bar.
T-Bar.
Mace. Yeah, and that's the thing is like, well, WWE knows who you are, so why do you have to hide your identities?
Yeah, because they
you
signed
guys were
you.
in the Performance Center, and then they signed you. Here, I would tie all of it together. They would be part of Shane McMahon's ultimate plan. He's running underground. He's got this group trying to mess with the power, you know what I mean? He's trying to basically make it, you know what I mean? Like, make Raw Underground be the thing, right? Versus, you know what I mean? Like, have it replace Raw. It's the only way any of it would be worth a shit. All of this is bad. It's just disjointed. No meaning to it. None of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so many.
Like, he would be bankrolling these guys. He would have got them signed.
Yeah.
He would, you know, all of it.
It makes zero sense because then there's so many loose ends that haven't been acknowledged. Why did they stop attacking SmackDown people? Why did we just got busy on Friday nights? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Why not NXT?
Why not NXT? Yeah, and what's with the new names? Like, Mia Yim didn't even, if you're going to say Mia Yim is a new person, then have her dye her hair different.
Yeah, like we can see exactly who the fuck you are.
Yeah,
like,
I see
exactly.
it.
I see it.
There you are. Look at you. Look at you.
Mask held less than Mankind's mask. Okay.
Well, and, you know, CM Punk, say what you want, but he did have a fire line on Twitter where Shane Thorne, who I think is Slapjack, he said...
Slapjack.
He said... that looks like when you have too many paper plates and catering, and so you just decide to put it on your face.
It was real bad. All of it is bad. They really have no plan for this.
Yeah, I don't get it, and I don't like it.
Slapjack.
You know what it feels like?
How long before that guy's got a new name?
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow. You know what it feels like? It feels like those wrestling auto generator names. Like, take the first initial from your name, your birth date, and favorite color, and you get T Slapjack or whatever the fuck it is, you know? I don't know.
T-nuts.
Yeah, T-bar nuts. It's so just silly. What the fuck? But anyhow, yeah, Retribution, they suck.
All right, so where were we? Let's see. SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley, Nikki Cross. Bayley wins, right?
Yeah, because this is going to Bayley and Sasha.
Yeah.
Nikki Cross gets fucked over by Alexa Bliss.
Right, because that keeps, right? I mean, that's...
Mm-hmm.
She's getting worse, right? Right? She's getting, like, more into the dark
Where does
side.
she go? Yeah, but where does she go? That's the part. Okay, so you're getting worse. Are you in the Firefly Funhouse? Because... You know, we mentioned how the coolest thing about Bray Wyatt is everyone he comes in contact with, it flips the person, right? Seth Rollins went from babyface Universal Champion to a Messiah. Finn Balor went from babyface, we can do all this, to dark champion in NXT. Braun Strowman went from babyface to heel, you know, all this stuff. So now it's a female. Where do we go with her? That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah. It'd be interesting if the ultimate play was he was Monday Night Messiah, but he was trying to foretell the coming of the new Exalted One, and it's the Fiend, right? Like he's been doing his bidding the whole time.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Right?
Something.
Tie it all in with a bow.
Yeah, but that makes sense, and you know we gotta have what's a stupid name I'm trying to think of here? T Sizzle as the ultimate Exalted One.
Brass Knuckle Barry. All right. Let's see.
I like that. That's good.
Right? Brass Knuckle Barry. So we get some shirts made up of that. All right. WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton in an ambulance match, which is, I hate it. I hate the ambulance match. I hate the casket matches. I don't like them.
I don't like ambulance match because it's too easy to lose and still be strong. And I think this is what happens. I think we're going to get Randy Orton as champion because I think someone's healing a little bit quicker than we thought. And that person is Edge. And I think they want to do Edge, Randy Orton for the championship. And the easiest way you can do Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre and it still feel like $1 million is Randy Orton does the sidestep. Drew McIntyre goes into the ambulance. He shuts the door. He's banging on the doors to get out, but you lost. You're stuck in there. I win.
Yep.
Lame.
Yeah. I don't know though. I I feel like they still are just high on Drew, and I think they want to keep pushing him. So I think they think Randy Orton, they can make him look still fine, right? And he can go crazier because of this.
Yeah, I think Drew McIntyre they still think he's $1 million. I think they like this feud of him and Keith Lee. They want to go down that path, and then they need Edge and Orton to do something, but they can't just do Edge and Orton, the greatest match part 2. So they got to do it for the World Championship.
Yeah. The greatest match this time.
The really greatest match.
Yeah. For real, we mean it this time.
Or they could, right? And they could say the greatest parking lot brawl, the greatest cage match of all time.
The greatest last man standing match.
Yeah, they could. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, they could do that.
All right. All right. Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso. Jey Uso's winning, right?
Roman Reigns might murder him to get over.
He might. Yeah, they might.
He
might take one for the team.
It might be 6 power bombs. Hey, we're going to give you an extra $15,000 for this one spot.
Do it for the family.
And you're going to get fucked up, Jay.
He's going through some shit.
Yeah, I think
he's going to get a T-bar in the slapjack.
He's going to be walking like a T-bar after this match. Jesus Christ. I think Roman Reigns.
Nobody wants a T-bar in the slapjack. Let me tell you.
That's the name of the show.
What?
Nobody wants a T-bar.
Nobody wants a T-bar in the slapjack. All right, I'm gonna write that down.
I think Roman Reigns goddamn demolishes him. The coolest thing that maybe could happen is Jimmy comes out and he's healthy, at this time, and maybe joins Roman. I don't know, something, but I don't think any of that happens. I really think this is just going to be a murder. It could kick off the show and Roman leaves early and is like, I don't care what I did to him. And that's like the backstage segment.
So if you remember, we talked about the bloodline, right? Them being the bloodline forever. He said something along those lines in one of his early promos as this heel thing with Heyman. It might have been the word bloodline or something, right? Like, I think when he was talking to Uso, talking about the family, it would be great if they join him, but first it's a split, right? Like you said, Jimmy comes out, right? He helps Roman. He's promoting for Roman the next couple days. Well, they're trying to convince Jay, and Jay's like, no, fuck you. You guys both fucked me over, right? And he keeps fighting. We get a few more, you know what I mean? Like, we get another one until Jay finally sees the light, right? And joins the dark side, as it were. And it's the bloodline, right? That would be an interesting way to do it.
That would be. I would hope maybe they have some
Hire
type of plan like that.
Hire Tim Mack.
Yeah, Tim Mack. Or that way. Whatever way it is.
Whatever way it is.
Like, go that way. Go with that guy.
This way. Yeah. I don't know which way I'm going here. All right, yeah. Again, check out the YouTube. If you're not watching the shows, you're only listening audio, check out. You can look at Tom's hat right now. He's got a New Day Rocks hat. NBA Jam shirt. I'm rocking the Spanish Announce Table shirt, which you can buy if you go to SpanishAnnounceTable.net. There's a link for merch up there. It's on Zazzle. We let Zazzle do it. We used to do Cafe Press, but
Zazzle's
bore you with the details. Yeah. Zazzle. So just go to SpanishAnnounceTable.net. While we're on plugs, follow us at Table Show, at TMac_816 on Twitter. I'm at The Awesome Voice. Use hashtag Tweet the Table, which, let me go to that, Tom. Hashtag Tweet the Table. While you're watching wrestling, use it, right? Share your thoughts with us. We'll read some of them if they're good. And at Theo75 says, Grats to the Table Show for hitting 300 episodes of Epic Wrestling Podcast. Looking forward to seeing 400. Hashtag Tweet the Table. Not sure if I read that one last time or not, but I'm going to read it again because fuck it. Yay us.
Yeah, it's our
right?
show. Yeah, give us a dollar if you don't like it.
And this is what I'm talking about. You two listening at home. If you want to be read on the show, send in some Tweet the Tables. You might get plucked. You might get plucked on the Spanish Announce Table. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Come on. Get that slapjack.
We'd love to pluck you. We would love to pluck you on the Spanish Announce Table. Back to the show. Let me pluck something out here. That was it. So what do we think? Oh, no. Roman Reigns is winning this, right?
Yeah, Roman Reigns.
Yeah. So what do we think? Clash of Champions. Going to be good? Going to suck?
No, it's going to be forgettable.
Yeah, you're right.
Tell me the last Clash of Champions that you remember.
This one could, right? If Roman Reigns does something cool.
Yeah, that definitely could be. But I think this is just the first stepping stone. I think this is still solidifying himself as an evil guy.
Clash of Champions aside, let's get into some things that aren't on the card here. The Monday Night Messiah storyline is taking some twists with the Rey Mysterio family.
God, why?
Aaliyah's a bad actress.
Yeah, they're all.
But
bad.
I like the angle, right? I like
actress.
where he's like, she's a naive kid who doesn't know, and she's like, what? And then like, okay, so they're gonna do something with her and this Murphy thing, right? Like they're gonna do something there. I just wish it wasn't Rey Mysterio and his family, but because none of them are good actors. But
yes. And how long has this been? Right.
This is now a personal vendetta against Rey Mysterio and not him trying to lead Monday nights into the thing.
Yeah, you've lost focus on the heel that you are, and also, what else can you took his eye?
But now, are we doing? Is the kid really yours with another kid? Right?
I know. God bless him. Man.
This time it's a girl.
Yeah. But I don't know. Can we stop it, Ray? And Dominic, they suck. I love them.
Yeah.
They suck. I don't love them, but I mean, I respect them, but they suck.
Yeah, don't love them at all. Let's see. Anything else?
I love Rey Mysterio. Again, the perfect spot. And I will die on this hill. I do not care. The perfect spot for Rey Mysterio is the 205 Live champion. Stop with this other malarkey stuff. You've got a luchador champion. Yeah, no malarkey. You've got this luchador champion on NXT and 205 Live saying that he's fighting for the honor of Lucha Libre. When you say Lucha Libre, especially to anyone our age or younger, you think Rey Mysterio. So that's the fucking story to tell. Not this, Seth Rollins is going to take his other eye. Now he's going after his testicles. Next, it's his fucking foot. Like, stop with this fucking bullshit, man. It's so stupid. It's stupid.
It is stupid. Anything else, man? Was there any?
I loved AEW. Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston is the man. He shared.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was about to leave this guy out on hashtag tweet the table just because we had already covered it and I forgot to bring it up. But at Heavyset330 on Twitter said Eddie Kingston is on the main event on live television. I think I may be paraphrasing because I just put it away. But he says you love to see it, right? I may paraphrase this thing, and that's true. Hashtag tweet the table, of course. You do love to see it. You loved to see it. It was great.
It's fresh. It's new. It's a guy who's captivating. His promos are believable. His work rate is believable. He gives a physical match that you could show to a non-wrestling fan and like, that looks like a real fight. I'm like, well, it may end up in a real fight here in the next minute or two. Right. Yeah. And so it's fucking awesome. Eddie Kingston is the goddamn man. Him and MJF, that would be the best promo or the best program coming up. Just the polar opposite styles, the polar opposite promos, but they both can cut, 10 out of 10 type of promos. Eddie Kingston, baby. Eddie fucking Kingston. And MJF needs to not get lost in the shuffle. That's the other thing I'm a little worried about. I like the Jericho thing, like I said, and it was well welcomed and fun. But where is he going? Because now Jon Moxley's getting beat up by Lance Archer, getting beat up by Eddie Kingston. MJF is doing what? That's where let's not lose the future here. MJF needs a program and needs a program quick.
I agree. Yeah. Well, all right then. All that said, then I guess we'll just end it on a public service announcement, right? Mm-hmm. You should always make sure to never leave your T-bar and your Slapjack.
The Spanish announce table.